because it has been a very, very Mercury retrograde type of week over here. I don't know if y'all have been getting your booties kicked with it the same way that I was. Although I do have placements that would obviously make, especially this particular Mercury retrograde, a little more retrogrady for me, but I definitely have noticed that this one has been annoying. So hopefully you guys haven't been dealing with too much of that. So how is everybody doing? Make sure you vote in the poll because I saw it was like evenly split between who we're starting with of Adam Levine or Ime Udoka. I think that's how you say his name correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was like freaking out because I hate saying people's names wrong. And I was freaking out earlier because I was like, oh crap. You know, we've got a hard name to pronounce. So, hey, Ahira, how are you? Oh my God. I was like, thank God, like I saw this clip on one of the blogs of Matt Barnes saying, like, that he spoke too soon on the situation, but he was pronouncing the name. And I was like, okay, I'm just saying whatever Matt said his name was. So, hey, Verlene. Hey, L-Dub. Hey, Nadine. How are you guys? Man, the boys have been wilding out this week. I was like, oh my God. They said, Nikki, hold my beer. I'm going to outdo you and get crazy. Hey, Kelly. So I do still have the Kardashian videos coming. They're probably just going to be more next week because, first of all, our HOA didn't tell anybody that lives over here that this is what they were doing. But first they ripped out a bunch of trees, then they ripped out the sidewalk, and both of those things were happening sometimes at the same time, literally right outside my door. So I couldn't record anything because y'all wouldn't have been able to hear me. So that was fun, especially for my elderly neighbors who couldn't use the sidewalk and had to climb in between the bushes to get to the sidewalk again. And then get this, I came home because all week they've been tearing up the sidewalk, and I come home from picking up kiddo from school, and I went out on the balcony, and I just went to look over to see if they were finished pouring the cement. Right in time to see one of the guys that was working on the crew whip it out to pee in the bushes. And I was like, yep, it's Mercury retrograde. That just sums up my whole week. I could have lived without seeing that. My eyes. So it's been fun over here. Also, guys, make sure that you like the live and vote in the poll up there so we can see who we are going to start with. And also, I was originally, because when I was planning out the live, I didn't realize that the Ime situation was like such a big deal. So I was going to include Kanye and his Adidas deals, but Spirit said it's going to be kind of a longer read anyways, because, you know, there's a lot going on in that situation. So I'll just do a standalone video that I'll pop up with the rest of the Kardashian reads next week. I was trying to keep it to stuff that's a little bit more like we can all squeeze it in into a live. So, hey, Denori. So, it was a week, I tell ya. Did anybody even watch the whole interview, or are y'all just going off of one little clip? Okay, because number one, Kanye wasn't being very nice about the Kardashians in that interview. He was still saying that there's no co-parenting happening and that they're still keeping him away from his kids. It was just this offhanded, like, my lawyer has told me to stop ranting about Kim on the internet and apologize so that way, you know, when we go to custody court, they can't hold this against me. But they're not getting back together. I already did a reading on that anyways. You can go look at my page. And besides which, Kanye dating Candace right now, the Victoria's Secret model. So who is Ime Udoka? Hey, Aaron. Okay, because I don't play sports. I don't watch sports. So especially the only sport I've ever watched was football because people I was dating was like super into it. So like I don't know like a whole lot about basketball, but apparently he is a coach for the Celtics and he was engaged to Nia Long and he got caught having an inappropriate workplace affair. And now he's been suspended for a year and there is a lot of extra moving parts and accusations and things that flew out with that. Also, if you guys missed it too, the girl that outed Adam Levine first, now she's getting outed is that she was the one that was planning on selling the story and she was trying to shop it around and people didn't want to buy it, so that's why she went on TikTok to do it. And then there was like some girl that used to date that girl's brother that said she's a bully, so and a bunch of other people are saying that girl lies all the time, so they don't believe it. So that's why. But then other people have said he did stuff. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. I love Kanye, so like, I don't, I haven't watched the documentary because number one, I didn't want to download Netflix. If I wasn't going to be able to like sit there and watch the whole thing all at once, because I know how I am, I'll like sign up for like a streaming service, meaning purposely to just watch one thing and then I forget to watch it. And then 6 months later, I'm like, why is Paramount still charging my account every month? And then I finally sign in and just cancel it and never watch what I was going to anyways. But also just because of, you know, Donda's in it and I have cried every time I have channeled his mom. And so I'm just like, I have to be in the emotional space that I can handle that. Same way that, you know, it's like Britney Spears, because every time I look into Britney Spears, that's when I want to curse being psychic, because I'm like, what is the point in having these abilities if I can't like go to her house and pull her out of there and save her? And then it just makes me feel really frustrated and helpless and depressed. So sometimes I'm just like, I have to be emotionally prepared for some of these things. So anyways, it's like, let's start getting into it because I have to be off of here by 8 because I have a client to call. So, dude, this like poll thing is annoying. Okay, now I finally got to pull down all the way. Okay, so we're starting with Adam Levine. All right. Okay, so I always got douchebag vibes from him. Did you guys like him or do you like Maroon 5? He falls into the Justin Timberlake category for me, where when guys start singing with that really high pitched voice, like I just am like, ew, no, thank you. So he's always kind of, there's like 2 songs by them that I ever, you know, kind of liked or whatever, but like I never super got into Maroon 5, and he always just like, him and Justin Timberlake have always given me douchebag vibes. Like, I think I'm so cool. And then earlier that I was watching Dustin Daly's video about this, just trying to see if anything new had popped up around this situation. He said that he had read somewhere like a long time ago that like Adam Levine doesn't bathe properly and he has a smell to him, and I was just like, oh, gross. On top of you being an egotistical douchebag who cheats on your wife with Instagram models, you also have the audacity to like not even shower properly. Like, come on. You really gotta have a damn ego if you're out here stinking and cheating. And then it was just like, how the hell can somebody hook up with a man that stinks? Like, ew, that's like the best part of a man is like when they smell good out of the shower, or they have some really nice cologne, like, gross. I mean, stinky people are just nasty anyways, like, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, that's the one thing that even if men annoy the shit out of you, at least you can still appreciate how good they usually smell out of the shower, and you can't even get that with him. Oh my god, I forgot she dated him. I forgot Jessica Simpson also was with the Maroon 5 guy, because the John Mayer situation was the biggest, one that everybody was talking about then. I completely forgot about that too. So, and that's so weird because guess what? If I was like one of these rich celebrity people, I would have the most banging bathroom with a gigantic soaking tub, all the like freaking Tom Ford bubble baths and the most expensive like candles burning around it, one of those like walk-in steam showers that looks like 45 people can have a party in it. Like I love bathing and being clean anyways. Like I shower multiple times a day anyways, and I was like, oh my god, if I had like a rich person's bathroom, I would never get out of it. So it's just like, what the hell? Y'all have access to like the best of everything and you don't want to take advantage of it? That's weird. That's suspicious. We have a little Whitney Lou over here supervising. So if you hear any noises in the background, it is the kitty assistant. Okay, so the first thing I'm asking about, just, is there truth to all of these things? Yes, this is the first thing that comes up. There's more people, you guys, that haven't come out, is what Spirit is saying, that were involved with him. Some of the girls, it's because they're seeing how what is this person's name? Is it Summer or Sumner? I thought it was Summer, and then I heard people saying Sumner, so I was like, I probably got it wrong. But there is more girls that have had experiences with him, whether it was a full-blown cheating affair or just Instagram DMs or text messages or whatever. But Spirit's saying not all of them are going to come forward because not everybody is like, ooh, I'm going to get a bunch of people on TikTok following me because I'm talking about Adam Levine. And, a lot of these girls, Spirit saying, they're seeing how Sumner has all of these people coming up from her past and being like, she's not an honest person, she's a bully, dragging her, and they don't want to have the same things done to them. So, which I always think about it too with this, like, you know how people say, like, oh, like, when you go to get a job or something, like, they'll pull your social media. I always wonder, like, if these girls ever did, like, try to go get a real job or something, the ones that expose all these, like, I was sleeping with this married celebrity. Like, do their bosses, potential bosses of these new jobs, like, know who they are and know their scandals and be like, I don't know if we want you working here? That's the stuff that, like, I would be worried about. Or just 10 years from now, you're trying to move on with your life and your future potential husband is like, you're the girl that was hooking up with this guy, like, never mind or something. I don't think people think about long-term consequences. They're just stuck on short-term clout, and that's going to come back and bite a lot of them in the butt later on. But see, this is the thing, because I wanted to know, like what's going on with their marriage going forward, since Spirit confirmed, that the affair things are true. And I know a lot of people were saying that, like, supposedly him and Bahati, is that how you say her name? Have some sort of, not necessarily like open relationship, but one of those types of agreements of I'll look the other way as long as you're not obvious and you don't embarrass me type things. This is the thing that Spirit's saying is there was never any like express like we sit down and included this in our prenup or had conversations about how I was allowed to go out and cheat. It was that he expected that she knew this is what he's going to do and that he expected that she needs to be okay with it. Things are not all fine and dandy in their house. He's in the doghouse for sure. Also, there's something here about he knew some of these stories were going to come out and he tried to pay somebody off not to share them. One person took some of the money, so that's another reason why somebody won't come out. The other ones didn't because they wanted more than he was willing to give. But he knew that this was going to come out and that there was stories that were being shopped around or written about him. And he didn't tell her. So she got to find out with the rest of us on Instagram. And did you notice the way that like the statement that he put out tried to make it seem like they've already dealt with this? And I thought it was kind of weird, like, did you guys know this was coming out beforehand? But Spirit saying he's just trying to cover his ass whichever way possible that he can. She's going to stick around for a bit because obviously there's a baby on the way and she's pretty far along. And Spirit's saying she's just in a situation right now where, to be honest with you, what Spirit is saying is if she wasn't pregnant or just recovering from having a baby or anything that was that, kind of a big life-changing moment, she would have left him. Because their marriage hasn't been great anyways, and this was going to be like that final straw. It almost feels like this was a save the marriage baby in the first place. Like, oh, she already wanted another baby. I gave her that. That'll distract her and keep her busy so I can keep cheating. And then she'll be happy with something so we're not arguing. But this is kind of her moment, her wake-up call. So once she's fully recovered from the baby, she's stacked her cash, she's got herself situated. Spirit saying it's going to take the littlest thing for her to be like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. I'm done. Like, I don't care that it was just that you forgot to put the toilet seat down. You already, I'm already over it. I was just waiting for you to fuck up one more time so that I have my confirmation. Because you know how we are as women sometimes. It's like we already know this person ain't shit. This relationship's not going to get any better. But because there's kids involved or you have a house or you have some other property or something that's holding you together, you just kind of sit there and wait and hope that maybe things will change and get better and then you don't have to disrupt your life or that you were just being overly emotional or whatever. And then it really is one of those things that all it takes is you and put the cat back on the toothpaste and now I want a divorce. And Spirit saying he will fuck up again. I don't think we will see it happen publicly, but that will be the catalyst for her to be like, look, I found your emails. You haven't stopped. We're done. So give it like another year or two is what Spirit's saying, because she's really going to be very pragmatic in making sure I have all my shit together because I'm leaving kids, not just myself. But this is a really big tower card moment for him, and Spirit saying he also lost some deal out of it too. Like there's something that they were supposed to be working on, but there's a morality clause in it. The company chose to exercise that. They're done. So, well, this is my thing too. Okay, I do not co-sign or agree with open relationships because people try to use spirituality as an excuse to be in them, and that has nothing to do with it. Polygamy, polyamory, any of that stuff has absolutely shit all to do with spirituality, so stop lumping it in there. But there are those types of relationships and plenty of people who are willing to be in those types of relationships. So I just don't understand. Like, if you're gonna cheat, go be in an open relationship. But the problem is because these guys don't want it to be a traditional open relationship where, both of us can go do our. No, I need you to sit at home and change the babies and cook my dinner and be loyal to me while I'm anything but loyal to you in return. And they wouldn't be able to freaking sleep at night if they had to think that like their hot ass Victoria's Secret model wife is out on dates with other men. So, Julia, I've been very open that I wasn't going to be on camera anymore, and this has been going on for months. So if you don't like it, how about we go ahead and remove you? Because you're not even subscribed anyways. Well, she got it. So anyways, you want to see me, go look at my Instagram. Go look at my old videos. I don't look any different. I just don't want my house on the internet anymore. That's all. It don't have anything to do with me. It's just I have to do this in my room right now, and I don't want the whole freaking internet seeing my room. And I changed everything around in my house after I stopped putting my house on camera. So I just posted a whole Instagram reel with my face in it. If anybody missed it, y'all can go look at that. I am psychic love everywhere. So, do we have any other questions about Adam Levine? Oh, speaking of Julia, did you guys know Julia Fox said that she was asked to be on The Real Housewives of New York? I'm just sorry, but like that's so fucking hilarious to me trying to like imagine Julia Fox with her smeared black eyeliner. With freaking Ramona and Luann. Talking about uncut gems, and I'm amused. If we thought the Kardashians were bad about never shutting the fuck up about Kanye on their show, the Real Housewives of New York would become the Real Housewives of Kanye, and that's all we fucking hear about because that's her only claim to fame at this point. I kind of though, honestly, I kind of want her and Azalea Banks to both go on that show together because that would be entertaining as shit. Watch the rest of those old white drunk ladies from New York trying to be like, oh my God, what are we supposed to do when they start freaking going at each other? Hey, Ronette. I mean, if they're not going to do it, can we get the Tubi or the Zeus version of it? I think that would be freaking hilarious. This is what I just have to say this. Azalea Banks is a really good artist. She actually puts out really good music. It's just that I literally see people all the time asking who she is and what she does. And I'm like, nobody even knows you do music anymore, girl, because all you ever do is get on the internet and tear people down. Is Ramona not on the show anymore? I feel like Julia and Ramona would somehow end up being friends, and then we'd have to watch Ramona running around trying to sell houses with her fucking black eyeshadow smeared across her face, too. It should be like, this is so chic. This is it. This is what all the girls in New York are doing now with their big old bugged out eyes, trying to convince everybody that it's the new thing. I mean, Ramona, not Julia, obviously. But that's funny. I didn't know Ramona's not even on the show anymore. I haven't watched it in that long. Didn't she have like some racist fight with somebody? Or were people just saying that? Because I think I remember somebody saying something about like there's no way Bravo could bring her back because there was like some racism or something that she did. And then she was like picking on like the new black cast member or something. So, but do we have any other questions about Adam before we move on? If you do, put question in front of it and drop it in the chat. See, Hannah, this is why we said, number one, like I have friends who are Pisces and I love them to absolute death, but I don't think I could ever date a Pisces. I mean, it's just too much emotional stuff anyways, and then the guys seem to be cheaters. I still want to know what the heck was weird about Tristan's hoo-ha, though. That will forever be stuck in my head after that girl said it. What's up? Whitney said cheaters can kiss her butt, and she doesn't like Pisces. Is that what you're saying? Saying no Pisces for me. I'm a Leo. Yep, you're a Leo. We know that. That's why your name is Whitney. You're named after the best Leo of all time, Whitney Houston. Okay, let's see. Is he still on The Voice, you guys? Because Spirit did say he already lost one deal. They were talking about it being some sort of like brand endorsement, like something that his family was supposed to do. Probably like, oh, diapers we use on our kids, you know, or some shit like that. But I mean, I can understand why Pampers would not want to sponsor somebody who's getting outed for cheating on their wife with like 28 people as this, you know. Don't you want to use our diapers for your family? So, but is he still on The Voice? Because I don't know why. I never watched that show. My mom used to. That's the only reason why I even knew he was on it. Spirit, is Adam's career going to be affected at all by this? Spirit said he's not going to get kicked off of The Voice. There's a small like hit that his career takes, and it's really like things that he was already in the process right now of doing, you know, like a diaper commercial or other little endorsement type things that have been pulled. But overall, in the long run, no, it's not going to really take a big hit on his career. I mean, his career is kind of at the place where it's at a standstill anyways, isn't it? I haven't heard that Maroon 5 is dropping anything in a long time, or that they were really doing anything that made any noise, other than, you know, all this affair stuff. That was the most I've heard about him in years. So, as far as he has music coming out, it won't affect it. I mean, that, like, listen, Holly Weird let people like Epstein and Weinstein exist for years. Dan Schneider still works. you know how they are. They won't get rid of anybody unless we, the general public, make such a big deal about it. But then it's like, okay, well, we have to because nobody's going to watch any movies this studio puts out or buy anything from this company if we don't make a big stink and be like, oh, we let them go. But he didn't R word anybody. Everything was somewhat consensual. So Spirit's just saying, you know, nobody sees it as that egregious to cancel him. It's more just like, you're a cheating douchebag. Your wife is too pretty for you. We don't respect you, but that's kind of where the buck stops. So I purposely am including, I know nobody probably cares that much, but the reason why I am including Brett Favre, I think that's how you say his name. I was like, again, he used to be popular when I was in junior high. I'm going to be 40 next month. I haven't heard about him since then. It's been like 20 years. So welfare fraud, because let me just say this. I feel like that, not that whatever happened with Ime is not, you know, any kind of shocking or wrong or anything like that. But I feel like they're pushing that story to cover up all the other NFL like craziness and sports stuff that's come out recently. And it's like, oh, we can bury the Brett Favre thing and just focus on the black guy. So y'all know I like to be petty and shove it in people's faces and disrupt the system. I like Kanye. So if we're going to talk about one, we're going to talk about the other. We'll just do it at the end. So that'll be the last one that we look into. If you didn't care, you can leave by then. So let's move on to Ime. Okay, start putting like suggested questions in here because, like I said, I don't know anything about this situation really other than this is what I know, okay, from what I've read. He allegedly, there was more than one person that he had an affair with, but the main one, from what I read, was supposedly the girlfriend or the wife of like one of the team owners. He hired a private investigator to catch them because he figured something was going on. And he apparently knew for months that this would come out. And Nia Long and their son just literally moved to Boston 2 weeks ago to be with him. And he never told her, so she got blindsided with the rest of us. And allegedly, he said some unconsensual things to the other woman after the affair ended. So that's all I know so far. Did I miss anything? And then I saw like what Matt Barnes was apologizing for was, I guess he said like this happens like more than people think or something behind the scenes. Like people obviously, you know, hooking up with each other's wives and girlfriends and boyfriends and all of that stuff. So make sure you put question in front of it, guys, so it doesn't get lost in the rest of it. So I mean, obviously, I'm going to ask about Nia's involvement, how she feels, what she's going to do about that stuff. I just wanted to know if there was anything else that I missed, so I know what questions to ask Spirit. Dude, there's already a line of men on Twitter telling her, slide in my DM, slide in my inbox, I'll take care of you, I won't cheat, all this stuff. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Of course, we knew that they would be lined up around the block. So what can you tell us about Nia Long at this moment, how she's feeling, what's going on with this situation with Ime? Thank you. Um, I mean, Spirit said it's true that they were having the affair, and obviously the league would have to, have like solidified proof to be able to, take the action that they did against him anyways, because they would be facing huge lawsuits from him if it was like, I didn't do anything wrong and y'all are just accusing me of some stuff I didn't do. So they very much did their due diligence before following through on any of this. You guys, were they really engaged for like 15 years? That was the other thing that I was like, wait, what? And then somebody said that she said she never wanted to get married. And I was like, why were you engaged if you weren't planning on getting, I mean, I don't know, like I might end up being that person. So I can't judge. I just didn't. I don't know why I thought they were only together for like the past like year or two. I didn't know that this was a really long relationship. Because I just saw them like start talking about him and her together like last year. And that's why I was like, wait, I thought they just got together. Like I didn't realize that she was with him for that long. That's a very long engagement. I was just like, that's a really, really long engagement because they were saying that they were together for like 15 years and engaged for 8 of them. I was like, that's a long time to be with somebody. And, in a sense, it's like, okay, cool. Like, you can just take the kid, walk away from this situation. You don't got to go through all the court processes of getting a divorce and all of that. Then on the flip side of it, it's kind of like maybe it would have been better if you had married him because then at least you can take half his shit to punish him. I mean, I guess it depends on which side you look at it from. So, like, shoot, my divorce took years and I didn't get half of anything. So, I don't blame anybody who never wants to get legally married again. Okay, so this is the thing that first comes up. There's something about that she's always had doubts in the back of her mind about this man and this relationship. And so she never felt comfortable like really moving it forwards and solidifying it in that legal way because it's almost like I always felt in my gut something is off here and I've just been waiting for that to materialize so that I knew, okay, this man isn't who I thought he was. I was right in not wanting to like, put a ring on it and lock myself down with him. But they had been in a really great place in their relationship the past 6 months. That's why she made the move. There's the spirit saying she was actually considering finally marrying this man because he was pushing her to get married. I put that ring on your finger. Come on, don't you want to put on a dress and have a party? Like, just pushing for her. Sounds like he was trying to trap her because he knew some shit was going to hit the fan, if you ask me, because guys are good at doing that sometimes. I know everybody thinks women like to trap men, but guess what? It goes both ways. Especially if a man knows that he fucked up and you're probably going to leave his ass and you don't want to lose you, then of course he's going to want to put a ring on your finger, buy a house, put a baby in you, something that would make it harder for you to be able to leave them, right? So, anyways, she's really, really going through it right now, you guys. This hit her hard because, and I get it, again, as a woman, damn it, I moved all the way here. I made all these changes only for you to basically turn around and spit in my face. Like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. That's what Spirit's saying. She really is kind of more mad at herself right now Like, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. I should have listened to myself. I should have dug. I should have, tried to figure out what was going on. And she didn't. So now she's beating herself up. And of course she's heartbroken. There's also obviously because you moved your child. So now she's stressing out because she's somewhere that she doesn't want to live anyway. It's the spirit saying she didn't want to live in Boston. She did it for him. But the kids starting school, they're adjusting, they're getting used to where they are, and now it's like, do I uproot you and move you back, or do I leave you here? Like, what do I do? Spirit saying that is the thing that she's trying to pull herself together to make these really big, important choices, but she's so completely worried that it's going to negatively affect our kid. But it's like, I don't know if I'm emotionally strong enough to like even try to stay here for the kid. She does not want to work things out with this man though. She's done. Because the way that it came out and blindsided her, Spirit saying that alone, like even if she was one of those women that's like, well, we can go to therapy, we can work through it, we can get through anything. The fact that it came out on, internet blogs and sports news channels before she was told, hey, I don't have a job anymore and this is why, just to her is like, I cannot trust this man. Not only do you go behind my back and do these things, then you don't even give me a heads up so that I can prepare myself. I just log on the internet in the morning like everybody does when they wake up, and my whole life is getting thrown in my face and falling apart. So she is very much done with this man and the way that he has gone about things. She has another guy coming right in on his tail, though, right behind him. And he is fine as F. This guy that I see coming in next for her is kind of on the younger side, so it's almost like a little bit of a rebound, if that makes sense. Not like so much like Kim and Skeet, but more like, I'm feeling this dude, I'm getting my groove back, I'm not doing anything too serious, and I'm not trying to, get booed up again right away, but I found this young, hot dude to hang out with, and he makes me laugh, and he's helping me heal and get past this. And I think this younger guy, everybody's going to think it's going to be like Kim and Skeet, like, oh, she's just going to use him. He's young, he's hot, he's going to D her down. And then once she's over things, she'll move on. I actually think this relationship could actually end up being something that lasts a whole lot longer than anybody's going to think it does. Because there's something here about this guy is able to make her smile and laugh and make her feel safe. And it's like, I know I can trust you. You have shown me every single day that not only are you an honest person, but that you understand what you have with me is rare. And if you fuck it up, you fucked it up. So you're not going to do that. And she's going to find a lot of happiness in this next relationship. And this is somebody her ancestors are bringing her to help her heal after having been so betrayed. Also expect we will see Nia Long in a lot of movies over the next couple years too. And this is setting off a big healing journey for her overall. In the sense of, not only does it force me to have to remember, because you know how it is, we get lost in relationships, especially long ones, and especially when you have to take a step back so your partner can pursue their dream, their career, because things are blowing up for them. And it's like, he's no longer this new, chain around her neck, this ball and chain keeping her from being able to work, make money, heal, hang out with their friends, do all these things that you just can't do as much when you're somebody's partner, especially when you're dating somebody who's in, the sports world, because that takes them away from home so much. And so Spirit saying it's just like, Stella got her groove back. She's going to be out there. She's going to be having fun, doing movies. I don't know why. Okay, I keep seeing her on two different things. One of them being like a panel type talk show, sort of like The Talk or The Real or The View. I feel like there's another one that's coming out that she may end up being a host on, but it's not as like much as we think, like, oh, the normal like Talk, The Real, The View type stuff, where it's like we mostly just talk about pop culture stuff, usually days after it happens, and give some really sugar-coated opinion, somehow tie it back to our own lives, and then wrap it up and move on to the next segment about pantyhose or whatever. I keep feeling like with her, like, it's a different kind of a genre of a show where it's really focused more towards women and women's issues and educating women, and it's something that people are actually really going to like. So Spirit saying she has something like that coming down the pipeline. She's got movies. If you guys didn't know, Tiffany Haddish lost girls trip too because of the whole situation that went down. And allegedly they were saying Monique was supposed to take her spot. I think Monique is great, and I'm all for Monique working. I actually think Nia Long would be a better fit into that cast than Monique, though. I think Nia Long would fit right in with the other girls, but, or something like that. But we're going to see her in a lot of stuff. I keep feeling like she might end up having, like, a regular series that she's on, and then also, like, that talk type show. So now let's get into him real quick. I wanted to see where she was at first, because I'm like, we don't even know this motherfucker, but we all know Nia Long, and we're all going to root for her. Like, you, sir, nobody outside of sports ever heard of you until you started, until your relationship really went public. And we still only knew you because you were married to or engaged to one of the baddest chicks that's ever walked this earth. Because she is so pretty. Oh, my God. And she has, like, not aged a day in her damn life either. So, and see, that's what you guys, because we were talking about this on Patreon earlier, the oversaturated market of celebrity makeup and skincare. But there's certain people like Nia Long, I would buy skincare from her. Because you haven't aged since you were on Friday, so obviously you might know what you're doing. Kim, on the other hand, if you're going to pay $700 for her line, just go get the Botox. It's going to be cheaper. That's the real secret for Kim's skin anyways, is the Botox. So you get Botox and then just go to TJ Maxx and pick up some Korean skincare. And you will have skin more like Kim's that way than you ever would from using her scrubs and lotions and stuff. Which, by the way, what happened to Kim's skin? How come nobody's talking about that anymore? Does it even still exist? Because it feels like you blinked and it came and it went. It was just like, that's what always gets me, like when they hype up these like flash in the pan businesses, and then the next thing you know, it's like, where'd it go? I haven't heard you say anything about it. I haven't seen you posting about it. Okay, he's definitely losing his job behind this, because what Spirit is saying is if it had been, okay, it's a single woman who runs the accounting department, and you even had gone so far as to harass her sexually, we could somehow still work with you. But you slept with the owner's wife. We got it on camera. Then you said all these horrible things to her after the fact. Then you got, because Spirit's talking about him getting called in and being questioned and lying about it, but also being really like indignant and disrespectful and rude, like when he was confronted, to the way that it's like, okay, like, why are you like cussing and screaming at us and you did something wrong? This isn't helping. Like everybody in that room being like, we can't believe that this is how he reacted. And so what Spirit's saying is the reaction has made some people nervous that maybe he's going to come back to work and start swinging at people or doing other things that they can't have going on in that office. And so it's like, we have no choice. You are suspended right now, but let me just tell you something, guys. If you ever get suspended from work, know your ass is getting fired at some point. They are planting all the seeds so that they can let your ass go and not have to pay you any unemployment or settlement checks or worried about getting sued. But your job is not okay and you will never come back from that. I used to work in HR, and everybody that you can ask that works in HR has been a supervisor. If you get suspended, you might as well go try to find another job while you're on your suspension, because that means that they're going to get rid of you as soon as they have all their paperwork in order to do so. And Spirit is saying we will hear that they have separated from him completely. And I don't even feel like, because they said he's suspended for like a year, right? I don't think it's going to even take that long for them to say he was let go or anything. There's something here about, maybe they'd be willing to give him some kind of a severance check just to get rid of him. But he wasn't even willing to talk about all of that. So they're just going to get rid of him, and I don't even feel like he's going to get any money out of it. So there is that. I don't think he doesn't have any sort of career going forward, but what his career will be is very different. Because you had this big scandal, so there's no, we can just put you on ESPN, as a commentator on our basketball games or anything like that, because there's too much like heat around you right now. I feel like we're going to see him come out with a podcast talking about sports or a YouTube channel. Something like that, where it's like, I'm still sort of involved in my industry. I'm trying to keep my name out there, I'm trying to keep an income up because I don't have a job, but I have a kid I got to support, but overall, is he going to go like from here, to like, oh, don't worry, the Kings hired you as their new coach? No. He'll get back into the coaching world, but I keep feeling like it's going to be more along college level, or even, how they have like the little like divisions and clubs outside of the schools, but it's not Pee-wee. It's like that little stepping stone between a school and then like the whole like NBA or whatever. I feel him like doing stuff like that in a few years. He did love Mia. This is the thing. He just thought, oh, wifey's across the country. I'm bored. This girl's paying attention to me. And there's something here about him thinking too, well, if I get on the owner's wife's good side, then she's going to put in a good word for me, and I'll get raises, I'll get promotions, I'll get things. But it's just like, you let your ego lead your dick into somebody else. You lost your wife, you lost your job. This girl is going to say and do whatever she can to save her ass and throw you under the bus doing it. he put himself in this situation. It's just like it sucks though because it's like you worked so hard to get to this. And to him, you guys, I don't feel like this is the first or last time he's going to cheat. I think this was just the most egregious and stupid time that he has done this because Spirit's saying, usually he is a little bit smarter. You'll hook up with the chicks while you're out of town on a game that I'm never going to see that girl again, and you make sure that she doesn't know you're famous. You give her a different name. Like, he used to do stuff like that, but you thought, oh, well, she's got a husband, so obviously she doesn't want to get caught. He thought having an affair with that girl was what was going to be safe for him. Obviously, not at all, and it blew up in your face. Oh, boy. I mean, he loved her. It's just there's some guys out there, you guys, they can love somebody, as much as they can because, again, the level that men like this or women who, act like this love people is not the same amount as, like, normal people can love people, if that makes sense. But it's like, I loved you as much as I could. I didn't see this as, like, I was really doing anything to break our bonds or that took my feelings away. This was just me being a guy and, like, getting my dick wet. That's the way that he was looking at it. So it's like, why do I got to apologize? Why do I got to feel bad about that? That's what guys do. So to him, it was no big deal. It was like, well, I love Mia. I'm just having fun because she's not here. You can't do that if you really love somebody, though. That's the problem. So, well, I don't know anything about that. I'm just assuming that if you, like, got up to, like, the NBA, you probably worked your ass off to get there, right? I know, like, for football coaches, like, it's pretty fucking hard, and you have to have a pretty stellar career so far for them to even let you be an assistant coach. So that's why it's like, dude, you obviously busted your butt to get there because I remember when he got that job, it was all over the place. Remember? Nia Long's husband is the new Celtics coach, and he's so great, and he's this, and he's that. From what I've heard or read online, supposedly they are getting a divorce. But, so let's see about this woman. And allegedly, the owner and the wife are white, too. People are like, he fucked over an old white elite man. My Patreons know what happens when you do that. The rest, but just racism will tell you why that shit is not great either. So let's see. Well, and again, sir, nobody knows who the hell you are. How did you even get in the same room as Nia Long to even date her in the first place? And why didn't you appreciate that? Exactly. And let me just say this too, you guys. Like these girls with the whole Adam Levine situation. I didn't know. I was naive. He took advantage of me. Okay, that might work for like Todd up the street or Jake from Match.com. That does not work when you are fucking on a celebrity. It is real easy to type into Google and find out if somebody is taken or not when they are a public figure. And then once you see, oh, look, it says that he married this girl on this date in whatever year, that should have been your let me back out of this and go over the text messages and tell him, I'm not interested in married men. Go fix your relationship. Get out of my DMs. I mean, a 15-year-old knows to do that, so you can't use the excuse. I was young in LA. You were like 25, girl. Come on. At 25, everybody and their grandma knows that you don't sleep with married men. And I don't know what the hell being new in LA has to do with anything. LA is LA. It's a place to live. If you let it destroy you, that's on you, boo-boo. That's like me saying that, like, San Jose destroyed me. Like, what the fuck does San Jose have power over me for? Either move or figure out how to get along where you live. It's just people say the dumbest shit as any kind of fucking excuse for their behavior. And it's just like, no, especially if we see these kids out here getting charged as adults for crimes, then I'm sorry, but if a fucking 11-year-old can go to freaking court with the grown-ups because of assault, you can be held responsible that in your 20s you decided to go sleep with married men. And if your family never taught you that that was wrong, then I am very sorry for you. You grew up in a really fucked up family. Thought mine was bad, but at least even they knew to give me the sense and tell me not to do that shit. I mean, that's what she was saying in one of the things. I was new to LA and everybody was taking advantage of me then. Like, girl, that would have happened to you in Poughkeepsie then. If you're that, like, freaking, like, I just don't know how to function in the world and I'm such a country bumpkin, everybody can take advantage of me, like, then maybe you shouldn't live outside of your family unit. So there's definitely already a divorce that's being filed for this woman that Ime was hooking up with, is what Spirit is saying. I don't feel her getting fired because she works there too, if you guys didn't know that. So it's not just I slept with the coach's or the owner's wife. It's that she also works for the same organization. And so what Spirit is saying is with her, they are very hesitant to punish or get rid of her because the things that he said to her that were supposedly uncomfortable and unconsensual were at the workplace. So they are kind of, you know, and then on top of it, she could go to court and be like, this was a personal matter and my husband's being vindictive and now I don't have a job. So I do see like them kind of being like in this, like, I'm stuck, we don't know what we can do, so we don't cause more trouble. They're going to try to move her to a different organization, like, oh, here, go work for, again, you know, the Kings or whoever. I don't even know any fucking basketball teams. I was going to say the Raiders, and I'm like, that's football, don't say that. So anyways, you know, they'll find her another football team to go work for, and probably the owner will pay another owner, or hey, scratch my back and do me a favor and let my soon-to-be ex-wife work there for a while. After a year, you can fire her if you want. You know, it's just I can't fire her while I'm also in the middle of divorcing her because my lawyer said this might be a problem. So there's that. And they are getting divorced. I also see this husband trying to do whatever he can to hold on to his money and not share it with the wife because he doesn't, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Rich people, they are greedier than anybody and cheaper than anybody, and they hang on to their money longer than anybody. And they will fight tooth and nail to keep that money. But especially when it's like, are you kidding me? You think you're going to get some of my shit after you were cheating on me with somebody that works for me? No, I'm going to make sure that you're not getting that alimony and half of my houses and half of the damn team. So there is going to be a big fight between the two of them over finances and the divorce. And that is where we're going to find out even more shocking information about this whole situation in the court documents and filings. Spare look for that like in the winter time, because they haven't identified like who, were these people or anything like that. We just know Ime got kicked out. He's the one that everybody's pinning all the trouble on right now. So, well, listen, this is the other dumb thing. Supposedly the reason why the whole husband had a whole idea to catch on anyways. They were doing it in his condo while he was on vacation, and he saw them coming in and out on the security cams. So then he went and hired a private investigator who made sure, like, he caught them in flagrante or whatever that term is, like, repeatedly in different situations, different positions, different places and everything. So that way, when the guy went and confronted them, it's like, you can't lie. A private investigator was following you for the last month and caught you guys together 29 times or whatever it was. That's when you know it's all freaking ego. If you are that sloppy that if you just are so like, oh, I'm going to get away with it, because who the hell goes to the person's house, especially these days when you got all these cameras? This isn't 1982 where you just have to worry that the next door neighbor saw and recognized somebody and is going to say something. Everybody and their grandma, even poor people, have Ring cameras. Like, I would be scared to even try to cheat if I was a cheater these days, because it's like there's no way in hell I'd be able to get away with it, right? So, that's why sometimes I think, like, maybe people do just want to be caught, because you certainly weren't acting like somebody who, knew that they were doing something wrong and needed to be careful. So, did we have any more questions before we move on to Tristan Thompson? Because I do have to get off of here in 23 minutes. And also, guys, there is like a couple spots on the schedule for next week. I think they're only for Saturday, though. There's 2 left because 2 people had to reschedule that I had on my schedule for next Saturday. So if you wanted to book, psychicbellalove.com is in the description box. It's pinned in a comment. It's on your screen right now. All over the place. Hop in and do it now, because I do book up fast and I really am not going to be available as much next month because it's my birthday and I'm actually going to take some time off for that, and some other projects that I am working on that have nothing to do with psychic stuff or YouTube that I'll be gone for also. So I will definitely end up revisiting this as more and more information comes out or having more questions. So, I mean, that's how it goes. So let's move on to Tristan Thompson, because he is the topic of conversation once again, since, all of this, I guess the show, and was the whole first episode was about, Tristan, and Chloe. From what I heard, because I didn't watch it, because I just honestly do not want to encourage anything that family does, nor do I want Hulu to be like, oh, people like this. Like, I view and it probably doesn't count, but I don't care. I'm holding my view. So I was just, obviously listening to catch ups, and I saw clips on the blogs, and then I was just reading what people were, writing on the comments and stuff about it. Allegedly, apparently, it seems like the whole episode was basically Chloe crying, then Chloe crying that the public is going to judge her and that she can't even enjoy her surrogate's pregnancy because the world's going to clown her. Um, First of all, Chloe, we clowned you for getting back with Tristan in the first place. So I don't know why all of a sudden you care about everybody else's opinions. Because if you did, you wouldn't have taken him back. Because we all did not feel that same way. That was our opinion as a general public. Let's leave him alone finally. But also, somebody said that they purposely kept throwing out like dates. Like, oh, Chloe did the embryo transfer after Thanksgiving, and then in December it came out that she had Marlee Nichols pregnant. But Chloe didn't know until the rest of the world knew, supposedly. And, that they were basically trying to kind of clear Chloe's name and make it seem like, no, she's not that much of a dumb bitch. She didn't go willingly sign up to have another baby with Tristan, even though she knew he had another one on the way. She was just dumb and didn't know. So, because I did see a clip where she said she saw the paperwork from the lawyers and that Tristan knew back in July. So I don't know if you guys remember, because this is why I'm getting to what my first question that I'm going to ask Spirit is. Do you guys remember the other girls that got caught up in legal issues because of Tristan, whether it was a cease and desist and stop talking about us hooking up on Adam 22's podcast, to that Kimberly Alexander girl that was claiming that his son is hers? And remember, she outed them that, number one, Tristan's lawyer is Marty Singer. Marty Singer is the same lawyer that Kim was calling, crying, but it's on Roblox. It's on Roblox. And what did Kimberly Alexander say? And this other girl, because she got a cease and desist too for talking about hooking up Tristan on that podcast. They all said Chloe was fucking involved in all of the paperwork and the lawyer stuff, and that it was Chloe behind it. So that's why I'm like, how did you even see this so-called paperwork, Chloe, that you even knew that Tristan knew in July? Or were you the one doing all the legal paperwork with him in July? Because, see, they always fucking tell on themselves. You just have to pay attention. I saw people in the comments saying that Chris was also trying to say that Tristan was trying to marry Chloe, and that she purposely, or that he was, purposely pushing her to have the surrogate baby and marry him because it would be like, oh, now when everything comes out, you're already married with a baby with me. Like, how are you going to leave again? So, which I don't think Chloe ever left Tristan any of the times that they so-called broke up because of his cheating. I think they just made him, go sit in the closet and time out until they were like, okay, the producer said you could be on the show again. Enough time has passed. Everybody will forgive you again, Tristan. Come out. So, and then the other thing that I thought was weird, guys, was I did see some clip of her talking to Kim about letting Tristan in the delivery room, and then somebody in the comments said, Oh, there's what did they say? Something like, oh, I guess they put out some statement saying that Chloe was the one that was gonna have like custody of the baby and raise it, and that Tristan would see it. So I was like, were you having this baby for you, Chloe, or was it you and Tristan's anyways? Because it just kind of sounds weird. And then I saw people saying that she was acting like she didn't want the baby anymore. Like after that, and I was just like, oh God, like I don't even think I want to watch this episode, even if I did like the show, because I would just get annoyed. So, okay, first thing that I asked the cards in spirit, did Chloe know before December? The answer is a definitive yes. Okay, and then I asked, was it, you know, back in July when she was talking about that he found out, and Spirit said yes. So, Chloe, you're just the biggest fucking liar. I mean, I already suspected that you knew this the whole entire time. Spirit's talking about, you know, that she had already gone so far as to freeze her eggs and find a surrogate and set everything up, that she was just more like, I don't care, I'm doing it anyways. And she chose, keyword chose, to believe Trash Can that, you know, that wasn't his baby and it wasn't possible. And, you know, Chloe, every single time, she's going to go sit there and put on her clown nose and her clown shoes and rejoin the circus. And on top of rejoining the circus, let me also play circus master, because I learned so well from my mom. And the way that she's been able to market all of us kids. So she definitely knew. She definitely was involved in him filing all that paperwork claiming that it wasn't his. And this, you guys, you know that girl has come out and said that Tristan hasn't met her son once nor asked about him. And he very only just started actually giving her child support because, like, they had to, like, make us think about it. Spirit is saying he's not going around that kid on purpose because Chloe doesn't want him to. And Chloe threatened him that he's not going to see his kids. So that's the real reason Chloe's behind it. You are a selfish fucking bitch, Chloe. You choose to be with somebody who does things like this, and that means that you need to put up with the actual fucking consequences, which means if you are choosing to believe and trust somebody who has proven that they cannot be trusted and shouldn't be, what fucking right do you have knowing he has another kid out there to say, well, you can't ever be around that baby? That baby doesn't deserve it. I mean, there are literal, like, even if you're like, oh, I don't want him to be around the mom or this or that, you do know that there are public visitations or people who act as mediators that will go pick the kid up for you, bring it to your house, and then take it back home to its mom's when it's done. They have more than enough money to pay a court monitor or mediator to do that for them. He's very in and out of that kid's life, but what Spirit is saying is that, like, for the other baby that he had before Chloe, he's kind of, like, all over the place and in and out with it, but, like, Spirit is saying everybody already knew about that girl and everybody already knew that he had the, you know, baby and all of that. So, like, it was just like, okay, Chloe had to eat it and deal with it on that one, especially because people were dragging Chloe. Like, how come we've never seen Tristan's kids together? We've only ever seen him separate with the oldest son, whose name I can't remember right now, or just with True. But, like, we've never seen, like, a group, you know, kid picture with dad or whatever. And so then, like, when people start saying that, like, then it's like, go pick up your son, take a picture with him. But he's not like the most involved parent. He just goes back sniffing around Chloe because and hanging out with True because that's his way back in with Chloe. Um, Again, Spirit saying it's not that he really like, in the context of like how much can you actually love somebody but still cheat on them that we just talked about with the Ime guy. This is not it. Tristan is using Chloe because he knows she's a doormat. She'll always take him back. And, I've told you guys this before. Tristan wants his own show. He's trying to set up his career for after basketball because apparently he sucks at that too. So, none of, his ever going back to Chloe ever really has anything to do with, oh my God, I just love you so much. I just have a problem and I can't stop. It's like an addiction to me. But my love is for you, Chloe. It's not that. It's just, it's so much easier, to make money and have a job if I'm attached to you people. You know what? I'm surprised we haven't heard more people come out and say that they hooked up with Tristan or that they're pregnant with his kid. I am honestly shocked that it has only been as many times as we have heard about because he's dumb, sloppy, messy anyways. And he obviously does not know how to wrap it up or be careful. So I'm just like, wow, Tristan, I'm surprised that you do only have, 3 or 4 kids that we know, over 5 now, I guess. I thought you would have had, like, as many as Nick Cannon at this point. He doesn't currently have any more kids on the way, Spirit said. But next year, we will hear about 2 other people being pregnant with him. Or for him, or by him, or whatever. One of those babies will not materialize because I feel something happening with that, but one of the kids will actually end up being born. So he'll have another child next year, and this is not a child that will come from Chloe either. Spirit wanted to make sure we all know that. I've always said this. Chloe's never going to leave Tristan alone until Tristan leaves Chloe alone. And the cards are saying that once again. Chloe is trying to work things out with him. And see, I said that on my Patreon earlier because people were like, oh, in the end, Tristan came to the hospital, with Chloe when they had the baby and you saw them together at the end or whatever. And I was like wondering, like, I guarantee you they're trying to soft launch Tristan again. And this has nothing to do with, this is the story all about how Chloe moved on with her life as an independent, strong, single mom. Oh, no. They're trying to make this a whole redemption thing again so Chloe can be back public with him again. So, anyways, Spirit saying, until somebody better comes along, that's really what Tristan's waiting for. Somebody better. Somebody that he thinks, will be just as much popularity, opportunities, money rolling in. And then he will be on to that next thing. We're going to see them be public again. And then we're going to hear about Tristan cheating on her again right away. Wash, rinse, repeat. And then after this next time, Tristan finally leaves her alone. He's playing the field right now, though, even though he's telling Chloe they're back together and working on things. He's still screwing around. He's just, being a little better about it. But remember that everybody thought that they saw Cheney and him holding hands in Greece. Spirit saying that's all it took, and Chloe was just like, no, I want you back. I don't want anybody else to have you. I want you back. I don't care how mad I am at you. I saw you holding hands with another girl. I want you back. Like, she is so stuck on this man. Jesus Christ. So, okay, we're gonna run out of time before I can get to Brett Favre, so we'll just say this. Yes, he did it. Spirit said yes, Brett Favre did it. He stole money from welfare people. It's going to take a long time before anything happens and comes out of that as a result anyways, and it'll be more so backlash on, like, city planners, the mayor, the governor, whoever, like, okayed for, you know, the money to be passed along to him in that way. And they'll be the ones that mostly get the hit for it, and he's going to be up there like, I didn't know, trying to blame it on them. There's our Brett Favre reading. He is a welfare queen. So, let me just see real quick. No, they're not going to get married. Tristan doesn't really want to marry Chloe. He just tells her whatever he thinks that she wants to hear. Tristan's in love with being on that show and seeing himself on the screen. He's very full of himself, too. Like, he literally thinks, like, oh, I'm just the cutest guy. I'm so charming. I'm so funny. Everybody likes me. It's like, really, Tristan? Really? Like, yeah, I mean, you're not ugly, but you're not like, oh my God. Like, if I had a choice between the two of you and I didn't know anything about you, I'd pick Kanye over you any day because I think he's far better looking. At least you can have an intelligent conversation with Kanye. Tristan's is going to be like, it's okay, walk it off. Go team, get a 3-pointer, and just yell like sports metaphors at you. At least with Kanye, I might learn something. You might be screaming at me about the fashion industry, but I might learn a bunch of shit about the fashion industry that I didn't know about until this day, so. And on top of it, you'll pick out my clothes for the next month. Like, I'll go in, you know, my whole closet rearranged. Don't wear anything else in there, only wear this shit. And you're no problem, Kanye, I'm on it. Hey, Eve. He does it. Well, that's why I said, like, when I saw those Kardashian confessionals he was doing last year, I was like, oh, well, no wonder. I get it now. You're slow and sassy. Like, he seemed slow, and Chloe was sitting there fucking bawling her eyes out about how she can't carry a baby or get eggs retrieved. And he literally was just sitting there, like, quoting things that, like, sports coaches say to you. Run it off. You'll be okay. Go get a goal. Get a 3-pointer. It's like, Tristan, what the fuck are you saying? None of that has anything to do with this, nor is it appropriate. And it's just like, I don't think he knows anything other than like that kind of stuff. That's probably the only conversations that he has all day long is getting yelled at by his coach anyways. Go look it up. He really was saying shit like that. He really was. Chloe's just like, I don't know, we're ever gonna have a baby, and he's like, if everybody makes a point today, we'll get pizza after the game, guys. And it's like, what the fuck? So it. But keep in mind, guys, I am going to do more updated readings on the Kardashians next week because I got to answer this and then I definitely have to hop off because somebody is waiting to talk to me. So if I didn't get to any of the questions at the end, I will get into it next week when I do the rest of the Kardashian readings. Well, there's no other men showing up in any of the cards that I have pulled for Chloe, and I literally shuffled and pulled again 3 times just to make sure. Because this is the thing, until Chloe works on herself, she's not going to be able to move on. I mean, Tristan has no problem moving on. We all know that. It's Chloe is the one that she holds on and she gets stuck. And again, Chloe, if you are watching this, because I know that you do, you keep up with everything online, and I know you've watched my videos before. Not going to say who told me, but it is somebody in your camp, so have fun being paranoid tonight. Anyway, girl, you gotta break this love spells. Until you do, until you go back to whoever did these spells for you and get them to unravel them, you will not be able to make yourself leave this man alone. Because it backfired and all of the binding energy hit you. And this is talking about multiple times that you've done this. It's not like you only did one love spell and left it alone. And now you are stuck. And you can't let go because that love spell is holding on to you and not Tristan, obviously. So go break it and get some therapy, boo-boo. Because until then, I mean, Spirit's just saying, we can pull every card in the deck. It's just going to say, no, she's not going to get anybody because she's got her head too far up Tristan Thompson's ass to even recognize her own value and worth and walk away and find somebody better. So that's where we're at. And it's just, I mean, and literally the underlying cards, Queen of Pentacles and Seven of Swords, you're being used because you are in a position that Tristan wants to be in, not because he loves you. And you're lying to yourself, because Spirit is saying to interpret this as Chloe wakes up every morning and lies to herself so that she can get through her day. And her real problem in not wanting all of us to know what's going on or to talk about it is not because, oh, people are just going to drag me. It's because Chloe doesn't want to have to think about the truth. She doesn't want to face reality, and we reflect it back to her every time people are like, well, what did you think was going to happen, Cloger? That's the real problem, because she knows deep down inside that everybody that's sitting there telling her online, stop taking him back, is telling the truth, and she doesn't want to accept the truth. So this is what she gets. It's Spirit's literally she lives in a land of lies that she put herself into just so that she can feel okay and get through her day and keep doing the same dumb thing over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, and that's the thing, guys, and then I do really have to go after this, and like I said, if there was any other questions I didn't get to, I'll get to it next week, and I'll include it in one of the other readings. But Lamar was not really any better, you guys. I think people forget, go look up the old TMZ interviews that he was doing when he was all messed up and on that shit. And they would corner him and ask him about Chloe. He was rapping about how her box is trash. Literally, Lamar was rapping first and foremost, and then he was rapping about how Chloe's box is trash and her family ain't shit. He told the world that her hoo-ha smells like rotten earring backs. Lamar was not any better. I mean, at least Tristan, I'm sure Tristan probably tells all those girls he hooks up with not very nice things about Chloe, because that's usually what guys do. Let me put down the girl that I am with, even though there's nothing wrong with her, so that you feel special that I decided to choose you, because I got a horrible woman that I'm stuck with at home or whatever. But at least Tristan has never, when he's made his public apologies, he always says, Chloe didn't deserve this. It's my fault. I'm the one that messed up. I take all the blame. He doesn't drag her. And Lamar was cheating on her, and he was telling everybody all these awful things about her at the same time. And that's really, honestly, I guarantee you, the only reason why Chloe still gives Tristan a million chances and never went back with Lamar. Because it's well, he didn't, say a bunch of bad shit about me on TMZ like Lamar did. And that is really sad if that's your fucking bar in life as to what you're going to accept in your relationship. Like, none of it should be tolerated, Chloe. Please get some self-esteem. As much as I don't like you and your family, I still do feel bad on a human level for you that you obviously have zero self-esteem or self-worth or self-love. You can join my Patreon. I've talked many times in there about how we can increase that, and we're going to really go hardcore with it this Libra season. So yeah, they never showed Lamar talking shit on the show. It was, but it's on YouTube on like old TMZ clips. I'll see if I can find any, over the weekends because he said some pretty crazy stuff about them. But anyways, guys, if you did want to join the Patreon and you're not Khloe Kardashian, you might probably just want to wait an extra week until we get to the first of the month because Patreon is, a platform and they choose when they charge people, which is on the first of every month. But regardless of when you join, they will charge you the membership fee. So, don't join on the day before the first and then get upset when you get charged again the next day. But if you want to book a reading, psychicbellalove.com. There is still, as of right now, 2 appointments left for next week, but those will go before the night is over. And anyways, guys, I love you all so much. I will have some other videos up next week because I did ask the concrete guy, and he said that they are going to be mostly done and they're not going to be like right outside my door next week. So like if it's on the other side of like my condos, like I don't care. It's just when it's literally right underneath my window where I record, can't do it. And so, and then of course every Friday I will be live. So I hope y'all have a good night. And I will see you all next week. Bye, guys.